Welcome back, folks. Today I'm going to show you how to create some neat effects with some text, placing photos in text or photo collages. So I'm going to get started by placing some text on my workspace. And by the end of this video, I'm going to have a few different designs and I'm going to ask you to choose which one you like best. For the first word, we're going to use the word Noel. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, and we're going to change the font to a font called Alice. So with that text box selected, I'm going to, in the search bar, type Alice. Here it is right here, and that's what this text looks like. Now, in French, the O in Noel has these two dots on top of it. The two dots are called tréma, but I'm just going to call them two dots. So I'm just going to place two circles on my workspace by pressing the letter C. And I'll make that circle black. I'll make that circle a little bit smaller, and I'm going to place it right there. I'll make a duplicate, and I'll place the other one right there. I'm just going to grab both of them, and I'm going to try and center them right over the O. Like that. Now for the O, I want to add a frame because I want to put a photo where the O is. So I'm going to go over to my elements, and under frames, I'll just look under basic shapes and see all. And we're going to have a whole bunch of circular frames. Some will have like different designs going around them, but I'm just going to use regular circle frame, and I'm just going to place it right on top like that. And now we can just go to elements, and now we can place any photo in that frame. Like that. Now if you don't like the idea of that O still being behind that circle frame, then you can certainly click into that text box, delete the O, and then you can just space your other letters so that it's no longer there. All right, so that is our first design. I'm going to add some text here, and I'll just put a 1 just so that we know that this is our first design. I'm going to create another page, and for this design, I'm going to place some text on my workspace, and in the text box I'm going to type Christmas. I'm going to put a rectangle on my workspace, and I'm going to place this rectangle behind Christmas. So I'll go to position and layers. I'm going to make my text white, and I'm going to make that rectangle black, and I'm going to move the rectangle behind my text. I'm going to grab another rectangle, and I'm going to place this rectangle over my R, because what I want to do is I want to eliminate those transparent areas on the top here and on the bottom on the R, so I can put a photo behind the whole area of the R. So I'm going to grab that box, and I'm just going to cover that area, and then I'm going to make that box or rectangle white. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to take a copy, and I'm going to do the same thing for the A. And I'll just extend it down a little bit like that to cover the whole A. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to download this. I only want page 2, and I'll say done and download. I'm going to create another page, and I'm going to drag that image into my workspace. This is the image that we downloaded. I'm going to remove the background, Here it is right here. And I'm now going to grab some photos and place them on my workspace. So I'll grab this photo. And I'll grab this photo right here to place behind the A. Like that. And let's also grab a background. So I'm just going to search for some plaid like this. I'll make that a little bit smaller. And I'm going to place that right there. Let's grab some more rectangles. So I'll just press R. And I'm going to make these different colors. So I'll just go to the color chooser and I'll make this one red. I'll take a copy of it. I'll bring this one down here. Let's make another copy. I'll bring this over here. I'm going to make this one green. I'll take another copy and I'll put it where the eye is, right here. And now let's go to position and layers and let's bring that overlay all the way to the top like that. And now we've got the rectangles and the photos peeking through. Now I want to make this red a little bit darker, so I'm just going to adjust it a little bit like that. I'll go back to position and layers. I'll grab the other one and I'll do the same. I'll make it dark too. And if you need to adjust any of the photos, maybe they're not sitting right like this S, you can just go to position and layers. You can find the actual element and then you can adjust it so that it's fitting better. Let's grab that overlay now and let's make it white. So with that overlay selected, I'm going to go to edit. I'm going to go to dual tone and I'm going to choose the custom feature to make it white. So I'll change highlights and shadows both to white. Okay, there we go right there. I'm going to grab everything and just make it a little bit larger like this. I'm going to go to share. I'm going to download this one more time. And I only want page 3. And I'll say download. Now, this is not transparent because I still have that overlay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to remove that white box around Christmas. So if I change my background color to pink, you see here is that white background. We're going to grab that now and we're going to remove the background and that will make it totally transparent. And so now if you wanted to, you could add an outline to Christmas or you can add a very subtle shadow. And there is our word Christmas. So that is our second design. I'm just going to put a 2 up here for our second design. I'm going to create another page. And on this page, I'm going to place some text. You can place text on your workspace just by pressing T. And in here, I'm going to type a J and a Y. I'm going to change the font to Anton. So I'll just go back. This is the font I want to use. I'm going to make this a little bit larger, like this. I'm going to add a little bit more space in there because I want to leave this area blank. And the other thing that we can do is we can add some frames in the shape of Christmas ornaments or different Christmas elements like trees. So I'm going to go back to my frames section and I'm going to search for a tree. So here is a tree right here. I'm just going to crop this. And let's go back to elements and let's search for a Santa. I'll go into all graphics. And let's place this Santa in there like that. So that's what that's going to look like. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to add a border too. So I'll come up here. I'm going to add this dotted border and I'm also going to change the border to red like that. And so this is our third design. So I'm going to place some more text and I'll just put a 3 there for our third design. I'm going to create another page now. And for this page, I'm actually going to place some more text on my workspace and I'll type Noel again. I'll make this a little bit larger. Now for this design, we're going to change the font to horizon. And I'll just make that a little bit smaller. I'm going to bring the EL on the next page. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up the spacing in between the no and the L. So I'll just grab the line spacing like that. I'm also going to left justify. And I'm going to add those dots on top of the O again. So I'm just going to grab them from here. I'm going to copy and I'll bring these over here and just place them on top of the O. Now for this design, I want to place a border around Noel. But the only kind of border that I can add is a solid line. If I grab the text box, go to effects and use this outline option. But I want it to be dotted and I don't have that option when I choose the outline effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to download this. I'm going to download this as an image and I want it to be transparent. So I'll just say download. I'm going to add another page and I'll bring that back in. Here it is right here. And we're now going to go into an app called Border Art. So I'll go to apps and we're going to search for Border Art. This is what it looks like right here. And we have a whole bunch of different options that we can use to add a border to our images. Now I'm going to use my image. And so I'll say detect image from beta. I'll say use selected image. So here it is, it's showing me my image in the preview using stars, but I don't want to use stars. I want to use this circle. So I'm going to use the circles. And as we move down to the different options, we have options to increase the size if we wanted to, or decrease the size. So I'm going to leave it right about there. We can also adjust the spacing and we can rotate those elements that are going around, but it's a circle, so rotating it won't make a difference. And we can also adjust the trim of where it's going to stop. I'm pretty happy with this, except for the color. I'm going to change the color to kind of match with the color of my previous design, which is this dark red. And I'll say add to design. Now I can add that right on top of my previous text like this, or I can just have it separate like this. So I'm going to leave it on top for now. And let me show you what it would look like with or without the black text. So I'm just going to scoot this right over here. And I'm going to grab this here and bring this here. I'll just make that a little bit smaller. And I'm going to grab a little bit more text. Like that. I'm going to make a copy of this. I'll go to the next copy. I'll go to position and layers, and I'm going to get rid of the black Noel, just so you can see what it looks like just with that outline using those circles. So I'm going to come back over here to this one with the solid Noel. I'm going to add another text box, and in here I'll just put 4 for our 4th design. And on this one here, and on this one here, I'll label it 5 for our 5th design. I'm going to take these and move these to the end. Let's go to thumbnail view and let's take a look at our designs. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then we've got 4 and 5. Which one do you like best? And would you use this border art app in Canva? Let me know in the comments. And if you learned anything in this tutorial, if you liked this tutorial, press the like button, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. If you want to hear more about my live classes, ask me in the comments and I'll give you more information. All right, guys, vote now down in the comments. Let me know which design you think is best. And for now, I'm going to say bye-bye. Until next time.